Greetings, my name is Alexander Sinclair Sky. Today, I will be discussing my journey of becoming an educator, how the main themes learned throughout the course align with my personal and professional views, and how I will integrate these main themes into my own practice. For starters, let me provide some background about myself. I am a son of a Nicaraguan immigrants, Leslie, my mother, and Edilberto, my father. I am also a brother to my sister Lorena, who is 6 years my senior. My parents gave up the only life they had ever known to escape Sandinista oppression and provide us, their children, an opportunity for a better life. Words can never express the esteem and admiration we feel towards our parents for their leap of faith. Although my parents instilled the importance of education and hard work, their inability to speak English and their own educational limitations left me to fend for myself in regards to school and the responsibilities as a student. My sister would actually seek my assistance with her homework. Music played an important role in my middle and high school years. I was introduced to accounting my senior year of high school, which, to my surprise, I ended up enjoying very much as well. My initial goal as an undergraduate student at UTSA was to double major in music education and accounting. As circumstance would have it, I would not finish my music education degree. Life took me on a different road, and I joined active duty army, where I served as a flute player. After fulfilling my obligation, I returned to college, where I met some very good friends, which I speak with today, who helped make my journey fun and, unbeknownst to them, helped me get through my final years of my accounting degree. Although my life's journey did not place me on a direct path as an educator, my role as a trainer in both my military and civilian careers have drawn me back to pursue a professional career as a teacher. Being a trainer, I enjoyed aiding and developing soldiers and trainees alike to their fullest potential. It was this role that gave me the greatest sense of personal fulfillment. Today, with the support of my loving husband Osman, I was able to leave my project management career with a company I had worked for 9 years to pursue what I have now come to realize is my true calling as a teacher via the Masters of Education, or MAED, with a concentration in Early Childhood Education, or ECE, here at the University of Texas at San Antonio. Coming into education with no formal background or training in the subject was by no means an easy transition for me. This course has helped me grow as an education student by exposing me to theories, barriers, and realities educators have and still face today. Throughout the course, we learned some very important themes that are prevalent in education. Education has evolved over time and continues to evolve to meet the demands of a changing society. The U.S. education system will always need revamping as it has in the past. However, this does not mean it is any lesser than those of our foreign counterparts. We still have quite a ways to go if we are to close the educational debt. As a teacher, we are empowered in providing the best education, which best is defined and shaped by our own core beliefs. Although there are many educational ideologies, there are four that come to mind: scholar academic, social efficiency, learner-centered, and social reconstruction. Each of these ideologies has helped shape our current educational system. For instance, some of our standardized testing was influenced by advocates of the scholar academic ideology. As for my own belief, I align to the learner-centered ideology, which was greatly influenced by John Dewey, also known as the father of progressive education. I believe the nature and purpose of education is to stimulate and nurture growth in students, teachers, and others in education to help all engage in helping students grow and create meaning for themselves. Globalization has exposed us to not only new cultures, but new ways of thinking. It has steered us away from a silo mentality, which in turn has also impacted education. The disciplines can no longer stand alone in a new world of culturally diverse students. Educators must think of new, innovative ways of creating and delivering curriculum. To achieve this, we must embrace the concept of interdisciplinarity. By removing the barriers of each discipline and combining them, we can achieve a new synergy of effort to reach the next educational evolution. The nature of the MAED is interdisciplinary, as teaching is not a one-person function. It requires all areas such as curriculum and instruction, special education, instructional technology, and so forth to work together for the best possible outcome for educators, the community, and most importantly, the students. Even with our combined effort, we must acknowledge the social inequities that exist in society. Education is not immune to such injustices. Although we have come a long way, educational reform is still needed. Students from affluent schools have an advantage early in life than those from lower SES education systems. Discrimination at a personal level is also another hurdle students who don't fit the norm must overcome. These students can be special education, LGBTQ+, and other disadvantaged classes. We must make a constant effort to include all students and ensure we don't exclude the contribution made by these underprivileged classes. Keeping Freire in mind, I will act as a guide to help students reach a level of critical reflection, as well as take action in order to remove the shackles of oppression and mold them into future agents for a more just society. Higher education appeals to all peoples regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, physical status, etc. I too come from many undeserved population as a Nicaraguan immigrant Jewish gay male. The pursuit of my MAED ECE will allow me to be a positive role model for tolerance, acceptance, and love at a student's most impressionable age. At the heart of it, we are all human. We should respect and celebrate our differences and make this part of our core values. I will foster this hidden curriculum not only in my students but in my peers, superiors, and the community in hopes the positive message is carried forward and spreads past my direct zone of influence to create a better society for all. So how will I teach my students these messages? The better question is, how do my students learn? There are five learning theories we covered that provide us insight on what motivates young children to learn, and a more recent learning theory on what drives adult learning. Let's take a look at these learning theories a bit closer and how I will incorporate them into my teaching style. Skinner's behaviorism learning theory informs us humans are creatures of habit and our behavior can be shaped by extrinsic rewards and punishments. He believed behavior occurred in the physical world through action. Parents unknowingly use this approach. I personally agree with Skinner. This learning theory will be very useful in the formative years of education as well as with some students who may have a severe mental handicap. Piaget believed behavior transcended the physical world and occurred in the minds of children, or cognitivism. Children do more than mimic behavior. Their internal mental process occurs throughout a lifetime. However, it is more active at an early age. It is important to keep this in mind as children learn to read, do mathematics, etc. The cognitive learning theory can be reviewed a bit deeper as it only takes into account the mental mechanics of behavior. Vygotsky believed learning is not development. However, properly organized, learning results in mental development processes that would be impossible apart from learning. He also believed children develop at different rates, or also known as the zone of proximal development. It is up to the teacher to identify where in the zone their student falls under and nurture the child to reach the next level. It is not realistic to expect all my students to be at the same level of development. I will put forth my best effort to understand where my students are in the developmental process and assist them in reaching the next. School is a community in which children not only go to learn academia, but learn to socialize as well. Each child brings with them their own skill set and knowledge. As a child enters school, whether it is for the first time, new school, or grade, situated learning, a learning theory expressed by Leib and Wegner, is a great asset. It allows the child to immerse themselves into the existing school culture. Once fully immersed, the child can use their own perspective to add to the existing culture and thereby changing it. I believe it is important to ensure each child buys into the culture to allow them to feel comfortable and fully express themselves and add to it. A next valuable learning theory is constructivism, which is an extension of constructionism. In constructivism, learning is manifested into the construction of a shareable artifact. This learning theory allows us to see the constructive meanings children are making during developmental learning. It is especially useful when a child is unable to express themselves through traditional means. It also allows educators to assist children in learning abstract concepts. I will adopt the concepts of this theory when tasked to teach difficult topics to children. Children will eventually become adults, and learning does not cease in adulthood. Learning can take place in a higher education institute or a job. Regardless of where the learning takes place, Knowles' learning theory took the form of andragogy. Adults are not motivated in the same fashion as children. Keeping in mind the different types of adult learners, goal-oriented, actively oriented, and learning-oriented is crucial when creating and developing and delivering curriculum. As students of MAED, we are adult learners ourselves, and each of us has our own motivation and goals we wish to attain. In my past, I have trained adults and fused this theory, unbeknownst to me at that time, during my instruction. The 21st century has brought many changes in society. The voice of disadvantaged classes is becoming more widely recognized, and laws are being put in place to protect them. As educators, we are impacted by the changes in the student population. Diversity no longer means the traditional race and ethnicity. Our average classrooms now include our special education students, which at one point were segregated from others, LGBTQ+, English language learners, and many others. Because of our diverse learners and communities, sexuality, a sensitive and taboo topic, is no longer an unspoken item in today's teaching agenda. Being aware of the heteronormative curriculum currently in place will prepare a teacher to embrace the concept outlined in queer theory and pedagogical approaches when tackling this subject. Teachers must be sensitive and meet the needs of this diverse population by borrowing and adopting from different pedagogical approaches to create a new instructional technique. Interdisciplinarity becomes a key factor by use of collaboration among different pedagogies. The MAD is preparing me as a future educator to be receptive to the needs of my student. In addition, technology is becoming a key instrument in both communications and learning. Students are more attuned to the fast-paced technological changes occurring every day. As a digital immigrant, as stated by Prensky, I must give credit to the know-how and savvy my students bring to class regarding technology. I will include them and their knowledge to find new methods of curriculum delivery using technology as a base. With so many perspectives regarding education at my disposal, I will use the concept of interdisciplinary and borrow from all themes I have learned throughout the course. I will take into account my philosophy of the purpose of education and use it as a springboard to teach my diverse classrooms. I will maximize the use of technology to keep children engaged, as well as utilize it as a tool to assist me in instruction. Including and making children accountable for their own learning will be my greatest asset as a future educator. Promoting critical consciousness in my students will foster an inquisitive nature, which will allow transformation in self and the world. I will always act in an ethical and professional manner during my profession as both an educator and a student. These core values I have gained in ILT 5003 will provide me the necessary skill set to be successful in the now and future. I would like to thank you for taking the time to learn a little about me and my personal and professional views regarding the main themes we have learned throughout the course. Have a great day.